Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the One Shot Podcast. My name is Chris Famularo. Joining me today is Tommy Rinaldi, Olivia Klein, and Ryan Clayton. Tommy and Ryan are making their return from the first episode, but Olivia is joining us for the first time today. Olivia, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm really excited to just kind of joke around with my pals out in New Jersey, East Coast chilling. I'm repping Nebraska though, so nobody forgets.
Don't worry, we never forget that you are one with corn.
Exactly. I kind of look like a corn cob, so I think it was meant to be.
Wouldn't you need to have green hair?
The shuck is like a...
The shuck is
blondish.
It's all about the cob.
Oh, right.
It's called a husk. It's not called a shuck.
Oh, you shuck the husk.
Oh, you shuck the husk. Yeah. Sorry, I should know these things. Our mascot.
Welcome to Corn Talk.
Fam has his own Nebraska shirt.
Corn Huskers.
I do have my own Nebraska shirt. It is a Nebraska athletics shirt from when I visited the University of Nebraska.
What did you think?
Well, I went to Nebraska. I went to Nebraska in the end of November.
Oh, okay.
So it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
It was gray. There was snow on the ground, and it was dreadful. There was nobody around.
If we look out my window, you will see just that. So nothing has changed.
Well, that's good to know. Nebraska is also the one state in the United States that I really genuinely wish to never return to.
Oh my God.
And Olivia, that has nothing to do with you. It solely has to do with the fact that I was trapped in your state for more than a day when I didn't want to be there for more than 3 hours.
I do remember hearing about that, and that is quite unfortunate. But I'm going to work to change your mind and get you back to Nebraska one day.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I mean, like I said, it's not like I have any true issue with the state or with you or the people in it. It's just solely for the fact that I was kept there against my will.
And
also, can we please talk about the fact that the Lincoln Airport is the smallest, weirdest airport I've ever been to?
I've never been to the Lincoln Airport. Everybody kind of uses the Omaha Airport because it's a little bit bigger. Like, I don't even think we should call the Lincoln Airport an airport. That's just like...
It's a landing space.
Landing space, yeah.
It really, like, I don't even know why we went there. I mean, it makes sense because, like, we flew from Newark to Chicago O'Hare, and then from Chicago O'Hare, we connected to Lincoln. Mm-hmm. Whereas you say it's a normal thing to go from, I'm assuming, any connection spot to then Omaha, because Omaha is like an actual... like good
functioning airport. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like a 2-hour drive to Lincoln.
It's actually only like 45 minutes if you speed like me. But probably an hour for more responsible folk.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's like a normal drive anywhere in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Doable.
I was just going to say, that sounds like Jersey driving, baby.
True. Yeah, you guys are crazy. I'm kind of glad I never had to drive a car in New Jersey because I don't think I'd be alive to tell about it.
It makes you a better driver, though.
It does. I
can't speak to this.
I think New Jersey gets a really bad rap when it comes to drivers because all the shitty drivers in New Jersey come from different states. Like
PA
New York,
is bad.
The over-aggressive New York drivers come into New Jersey. The shitty Philly driver and Pennsylvania drivers come into New Jersey. The Connecticut psychos come into New Jersey. It's and then there's the New Jersey drivers where
Connecticut psychos.
Honestly, they should be called that because they drive like animals. Driving through, like when I go to visit my sister in Providence, driving through Connecticut is the worst thing in the entire world. Like people just drive on the shoulder and go like 80 miles an hour. And then if any bit of rain falls, they're like, let me slam on my hazards lights and drive 35 miles an hour under the speed limit.
Oh God. No.
Yeah, well, Tommy, tell us about all of your driving experience, Mr. Driver Supreme.
I'm getting my permit hopefully on the 4th of January, so we'll see.
Just
Independence Day.
Just for the viewers, and so Tommy, you can kind of dox yourself. How old are you, Tommy?
I'm 23, guys.
That was
just time and money. It's just what it came down to, but we're finally getting it done. I've tried a bunch of times during quarantine, and it's finally happening. So,
well, your first road trip can be taking all of PTV fam, all of the people to Nebraska. How about that?
Would love it.
In just one big bus.
Yeah. I'll get a Volkswagen bus, put all comfy things around in the back, and let's just go.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Oh, and then we could do podcast on the road.
Wait, wouldn't the audio be really bad for that? Because it'd be
absolutely. All you would hear is
and then just us laughing as well. It would not. It just would not be a good recording.
It wouldn't sound good at all. All right. Well, Olivia, since you, like I said, you are kind of newer, at least your first appearance for the podcast, you've been on in the mix, and we've talked to you on Quarantine Catch Up. You are one of the other people who are interested in helping expand the One Shot Entertainment library of content. So why don't you give us a little bit of an understanding of what you're hoping to add here?
Yeah, I think you've done a great job already of like putting down a base of good content and including different people for said content. I sent this idea to Tommy the other night, but one interest I have is in poetry, and I feel like there's something there that we can do, like some type of like, not like book club, but poetry club where we're all kind of like reading the same poet each week or something like that, and then coming together and like writing a poem together. It doesn't have to be good, but like something humorous where we like get a prompt or something, and like that's the theme of the episode, and then we all write a poem about like dogs at the end. I don't know, but so that's kind of my little idea that I have. But
I like to hear it. I love it.
I'm happy to be a contributor thus far to the other great shows that we have.
When I first heard the poetry idea, I was really excited about it. I thought, just like you were saying, we could have like a haiku off at the very end, get a lot of feedback with you guys about what you would want to hear us write about and stuff, while also going over maybe the things we've written in the past or just poets that we really like. I also think that would be a nice connection to do with your sister, Emily, Chris, because she's a great writer. And I think that would be a fun way to interact with a bunch of different people within our space.
Yeah, I agree. Emily is huge into poetry. She was telling me today about how she felt about your poetry, Tommy. She thought it was really good and was very interested in it.
Poetry?
So.
What?
You write I was going to say, well, this has never come up, Tommy.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys know Tommy's a Renaissance man.
I mean, you know what it is. But yeah, I mean, every once in a blue moon, I'll write something if it comes to mind. I can't sit with anything for a long period of time, which is why I did no homework in college. If it's not done within a 10-minute to an hour period, it's probably not getting done at all. But yeah, I've written a couple stuff as quick as I possibly could, and I think it's okay. Chris's sister thinks it was pretty good, and it was really nice to hear those words from her.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I would love to read it sometime.
I'll send it to you after this.
Oh, great. You guys want to hear a funny poetry story real quick?
Please
do. Of course.
So, for English class in high school, we had to do poetry. And so, like, I'm kind of, like, dicking around with this. And, like, we were assigned a color, like, your favorite color. And, like, you had to write stuff about it. Me being a dumbass, so my favorite color at the time was red. So like it's freshman year, I write something dumb like red, like the color coming from my blade or something really stupid like that. And I say, haha, that's a funny idea, and forget about it. It is then time to read poetry in front of the class. So I'm going down my list and I go, red, like the splash of Mio in my drink. Red, like red is the color of, and I left it on my paper.
Yeah, I would have too.
Almost read that in front of the class. And then like before I handed it in, I like scratched it out and stuff. Yeah. That could have almost been bad.
Thank you for sharing that lovely, lovely story.
I thought this was going to be a callback to when Ryan said that him and his friends love to just spell curse words on the board. So I thought it was just going to be Ryan just
it's Hangman all over again.
Fuck.
Red is like penis or something like that. Yeah, no. Anyway, that's all I have to add about poetry. I mean, I like poetry, so what?
Your high school stories are so like interesting in the fact of like, just they're unexpected. Not in like a crazy sense, like they're completely normal things to have happen, but you're just like, yeah, let me write a poem about the color red and allude to the fact that I may or may not have cut someone with a blade.
It's because he lives in a wall. That's about it.
He lives in a wall. Let's not dox Ryan.
I
Now,
was
come
just
on.
gonna say a nice brick wall.
Yep.
He lives in a brick wall.
Brick wall.
All right.
In
well,
my apartment.
It all comes
I
full
love the
circle.
Crossover.
I mean, all right. So let's kind of talk about some of the things going on in the world at this point, some current events, if you will. COVID is back to being out of control. Every single state in the United States is absolutely terrible at maintaining or curbing any signs or increases in COVID. Obviously, like we said, Tommy, myself, and Ryan all live in the state of New Jersey. We all know how terribly it is being handled here. Olivia, can you give us a little bit of insight at how COVID is going in Nebraska?
I'm embarrassed now to be wearing Nebraska gear because of how we're handling COVID. It's just a shit show. The most recent thing that's I can think of is that our governor, Pete Ricketts, went to a bar a couple weeks ago with no mask on and was hanging out with people and then got COVID or was exposed to COVID and was like, there was a small gathering that I held in my backyard that I was exposed. And there was this bartender that took a video of him and was like, what are you doing, Pete? You're at a bar without a mask on. And she actually was fired from the bar that she was working at. And so it was just this big scandal of just fucking politicians thinking they can do whatever they want with no repercussions. And then people that try to hold them accountable are then fined, are reprimanded.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Nebraska drama for you.
That's similar to something that happened in California with Governor Newsom. He was out having dinner or something like that about a month or two ago, and it was this big gathering, none of them wearing masks and all that stuff. And they're one of the most strict people with the lockdown. And
yeah,
then you see the governor do that, and it's frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then in similar fashion in New Jersey, not the governor, but one of the representatives of the I believe one of the northern counties in New Jersey also held an event with, I think it was a young Republicans group, no masks, anybody, no masks. It was a large gathering. And then videos and photos came out and the governor was like, get out of the state. We don't want you here. Go away. And I'm pretty sure those headlines and Governor Murphy made national news again for the umpteenth time in this year. Yeah, it's,
between, that's what he calls them.
Yeah, he called him a knucklehead. And I feel like this area, I can't even say this area because there's been just upticks all over the country. I feel like most recently the Midwest was really struggling, and then it just exploded to this second wave that we are currently in.
It just feels like everybody gave up, honestly. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to place blame on individuals because it's it's been almost a year. That's insane to have such strict, complete lifestyle changes of isolating yourself, quarantining yourself, not seeing friends and family. People are going to make mistakes. And so it really is the government just not having nationwide mask mandate and things simple solutions, really, in my opinion. So I feel for people, but I wish we could push through so that we can get the vaccine and be okay without just getting even more and more in the red zone. I don't even know if we can call it that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. At the time of this recording, some of the very first vaccines have been going out to some medical professionals. We have the vaccine is being cleared in certain other countries in the United States, hopefully, and it's expected that, it'll be publicly available around March. That's the timeline right now.
The crazy thing is
still
March is 3 months away, and everything really happened in the U.S. last March, and that feels like a year ago, a full on year.
Well, it'll be a whole year
in 3 months. I understand that, but it just feels like such an elongated time, and next March is right around the corner, essentially.
My birthday's actually in March, so what I want for my birthday is everybody to be vaccinated. That's my wish, my birthday wish.
We'll get started on that right away.
Good.
Your birthday present will be months in the making. I
was robbed of my 21st year on this earth to be able to go out, live my life. So I'm calling I'm gonna just like reverse my age. Like I'm gonna
celebrate the 22nd as the 21st for the second time. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Well, as far as everyone else is concerned, nobody knows if you really aged this year. So just say you were turning 21 for the first time.
True. Very true. Good call.
Because either you aged like 4 years in 1 year, or you were just like, oh, whatever. I mean, who cares? I'm still 21. It's fine.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we can move past COVID because it's depressing as fuck and it's going to go on forever. All right. Some other current events. This is really more so a personal current event rather than a national current event. I got a haircut. I don't know if you can tell.
Wow, look at that.
But fun
Bulky
fact,
fade.
it was like 3 months. Yep. Clean fade. It's been like 3 months since I got a haircut, and I was starting to look too much like Tommy, so I had to make a change, or else we were just going to morph into one being and become the ultra lord of One Shot Entertainment.
I mean, it's bound to happen anyway, but I like that we look a little bit different now.
Well, that's true. I mean, for a little bit of outside perspective, so Tommy and I have been talking about going on a creative retreat, if you will. We've been looking into going somewhere else in the woods and kind of really honing in our creative senses and trying to bring something else out. And I think at that point we will just like lock fingers and
amalgamate into one being.
Mm-hmm, we'll just become one being, and we will become Crami Rinaldi. That'll be our name.
Wow.
It was pretty quick of you. I'm kind of surprised.
Thanks. I'm a pretty creative guy sometimes. Not funny, but creative.
Speaking of creative, did you recently take a personality test or something or anything?
That's a great segue, Tommy. Thanks.
Come on. You've been doing this longer than us, and that was a terrible transition. I'm evaluating you as this is going on, and that was terrible.
Hey.
Yeah, Tommy, I give you like a D on that.
Hey, it worked out.
In hopes of continuing the conversation, yes, I did. This is something that actually has been very eye-opening for me. This is 2020, as it has been for everybody, not just these 4 people here, but I'm sure everyone has been trying to understand themselves a little bit better in the year of 2020, because it's a pretty good time to be doing so. We've been facing a lot of challenges, whether that is relationships, monetarily, career, friends, personally, mentally. All kinds of challenges have been brought upon us. And I thought one thing that would help me understand myself a little bit better is by taking a personality test. And it was really insightful. I feel like I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I tend to give myself more to people than I should, meaning that I sacrifice some things for myself or for the benefit of a relationship. Have you guys ever taken a personality test?
Well, quick question. What personality test did you take?
I took the personality test on 16personalities.com. I don't
So the Myers-Briggs one?
I believe it's the Myers-Briggs test.
Do you know like your 4 letters? Like
yeah, I have it right here.
What is it? What are you?
So my personality type, this is what 16 personalities kind of sections it off as, but I'm a protagonist. It is ENFJT. So it means I am extroverted. I am intuitive. I am feeling, judging, and turbulent.
Nice. I'm ENFP. So very close.
Oh, you're prospecting.
Yes.
You're a bit of a planner, huh? And you like to stick to that plan?
Well, actually, I was going to bring up astrology, not to be the astro.
Well, this is great. I was hoping that we could connect the dots.
That's a good transition.
Yes, because like, not to one up Tommy, but my transition. No, but really like you can break down astrology into like 3 basics, and that's like your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising, and all of them kind of say different parts about your personality. So like my sun is Pisces, which is known to be like creative and free with the earth and kind of no cares, right? And then my moon sign, which is like your inner self, so like the parts that like other people don't really see just by knowing you on like a like like a
Surface
basis,
level.
I don't know. Yeah, surface level. Is Virgo, which is planning, structure, all that kind of stuff. So it's difficult because I want to throw all my cares to the wind, but internally I need minute by minute breakdown of my day. Yeah. So that's my life.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because my sister is very into astrology. She is a big believer in it, and she loves doing, reading into people's signs and stuff like that, and kind of associating that with them. And I tend to be a person who I think more so agrees with a personality test, because it's based on questions that you answer yourself, whereas astrology is based on when you were born, where the planets were when you were born, where stars were when you were born. So Tommy and Ryan, have you guys ever taken a personality test, or do you believe higher in astrology, or is it a both?
That's a lot. So I guess I'll start with the personality stuff. So I haven't taken anything recently, but I remember taking I think 2 kind of personality tests in high school. God, I talk about high school a lot.
We get it.
Glory days.
Need some new memories, bro.
Oh no, if that was my peak.
They always get older, Ryan, but you stay the same. Oh wait,
Nope.
Hey, personality tests.
I'm the worst.
We're keeping it in too.
So personality tests. So the one we took that so I took 2. One was I think a personality test, but I don't remember the results. What I do remember is it was structured a certain way where nobody found out these results, but we were all very critical of what answers we got. So in our high school brains, it was either questions hey, on the weekends, do you like to go out with your friends? Or are you a fucking loser who sits inside and is depressed? Huh? And you wouldn't want, we didn't take this seriously because it's well, I don't want to be I go out with friends and stuff. So it wasn't accurate. And then the second one was we took hey, what jobs you might be good at kind of stuff. And I remember getting I think it was a park ranger or something environmental, which I thought was super interesting because I do really love camping. I have an appreciation for nature. I'm an Eagle Scout, so it does make sense. And that was before really getting into filmmaking and stuff. So those are my personality test stuff.
That's really interesting.
I'd be interested to see you take it now. Because I feel like now that we are full-fledged adults and we very much have, we're not done growing personality-wise, but you know who you are, at least at this stage in your life. So I'd be interested to see now, but I do understand what you were saying about how you're in high school, you have the idea of who you are, and then you have who you really are, and you're not okay with saying it.
Exactly. So that was very interesting to look at.
Yeah.
What is your sign?
Tommy, what about you?
She asked
want to do an astrology rant?
No. I just want to know just your sign.
I would like to know your sign too.
Sagittarius. I just had my birthday, so.
Happy late birthday. Tommy, what about you for personality tests and astrology?
So we all did the mash with the swirl, and then you find out what your home's going to be and who you're going to date and how many kids, all that fun stuff. That's middle school.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I loved it in middle school.
Yeah. But
right totally not right now.
Currently doing it on my notebook. But right after Chris did his, he sent his to me to kind of get feedback. And I was like, might as well do my own. And I found out that I'm an advocate. And then my letters are INFJT. So I'm an introvert, which kind of makes sense. I feel like a extroverted introvert where I can do something like this and be very social, but I also like my alone time a lot. And then for astrology, I'm a Libra. I like balance, I guess, and art and all that fun stuff. So I don't really know too much about astrology.
My astrological sign is a Taurus, which means I am stubborn and headstrong and outgoing, which, as all of you are aware, that is exactly what it is.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, Olivia, I feel like since you have such a good knowledge, not saying that Tommy and Ryan don't know what they're talking about, but they kind of have no fucking idea.
We don't.
When it comes
That's
to
correct.
astrology versus personality tests, which do you think tends to be more accurate?
You brought up a really good point about like it's questions about who you are right now. So I think like for people that aren't super like well versed in astrology, a personality test is going to be much easier for them to like identify with. Whereas astrology has a lot of elements. Like there's a lot of different schools of thought with astrology, and it's all like the facts are there, like what the planets looked like, what time you were born, where you were born, things like that. So I think like once you start to understand things like going just beyond like, oh, I'm this sign, and like that can't possibly tell you everything about yourself, you know. But I have a friend who's like very much into it, like has like books and like studies this, like, you know, I don't know, astrology.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know, it just is what it is, dude. But she has like, she loves to like get people's birth charts and then give you like basically a PowerPoint presentation about who you are and why you are the way you are. So it's a fucking read. Like she reads you to filth. But I'm like, I needed this to be better, you know? So if anybody wants to send me, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you guys believe in like tarot card readings and like hand readings and all that type of stuff as well, or do you just feel like comfortable with just like a personality test or something like that?
I'm really into tarot. I got my own deck this summer, and that one I think is, whereas like I look to astrology for like bigger life things, I'm like tarot kind of like day to day, like, oh, I'm feeling this way, I need to like look at a card or like a reading type of thing for answers, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. I feel like mine, I tend to more lean in the direction of like, I don't entirely want to believe in the fact of like signs or readings will decide my, and I know that's not what you're saying, like it's just kind of a change, like a different school of thought of like, I want to be the one who makes the decisions. I don't want to rely on a sign to point me that way. Like it's more so, that's why I like personality tests more than astrology, because I feel like at least with personality tests, it's like a sense of will, like you're determining what's happening versus the universe is determining something. And I think that kind of also aligns with my theological beliefs as well, which we will not be getting into that much here. But I'm not a person who is a huge follower of a higher being and stuff like that. I prefer the idea that everyone makes their own decisions and choices for their own self rather than a higher power dictating that for them. But I'm not someone who's going to be like, oh, you read tarot cards? Like, make your own decisions. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. That's not how I feel. It is just in my own
just attacking Olivia. It's cool.
But yeah, that's why we're all here today, right?
Yeah, this isn't a podcast, Olivia. This is like an intervention. You need to start making your own decisions.
How about a roast?
A roast, yeah.
Yeah, Tommy's just a boomer in a 23-year-old's body.
I've aged a lot over this quarantine.
Person now.
I go to sleep before 11. I started playing chess. It's going bad.
Is it because you watched the Queen's Gambit?
It was actually before that. But okay. Queen's Gambit is really, really good, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I've only heard good things.
It's not just like chess, which I think like actually makes I don't want to shit on chess, but like there's other really good parts about that besides the chess. Like one of the actually parts that I thought was interesting was kind of some of the substance use stuff.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
As a recovering alcoholic, I thought that stuff was super fascinating, like the early signs and stuff. So that part was really like cool to me to see. I always love that stuff.
Yeah, they went really in depth about a lot of deeper meanings, not just about chess. Chess was kind of just a vessel to bring us on the journey. And I thought it was done really well. There's a lot of deeper themes that a lot of people should watch it, even if they don't like chess. So
I love chess. I wanted to join chess club in high school, but I was too scared.
So. You could play me on chess.com. There's an app. It's great. We'll learn together.
Chess club in my high school was dominated by the
And they're back.
All back.
Oh, they'll always make it in. They'll happen every week, just like Wednesday does.
They actually fund this podcast, so.
I was genuinely worried. I don't know why, but I just thought that there was going to be a chance of like somebody was going to message me through like Facebook Messenger or like Instagram and be like, hey, what are you doing shit talking to Wednesdays? And I was going to be like, I had no idea what to say.
Wait, first off, Olivia, do you know who the Wednesdays are?
No.
Fake fan. Not even watching the podcast. Fuck.
She shared it. It's okay.
She did share it though. It's all right. You get an A+. All right.
Loyal.
So
do I get to know who they are?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Here's a quick recap so I don't spend another 30 effing minutes talking about this group of people.
I need 3 minutes max.
It's going to be less than that. Okay, so the Wednesdays were this group of people in my high school, all 4 years that I was there. They were basically emo, video game nerds, culture nerds, and like a little bit of socially awkward individuals all wrapped into one. And at my senior year, they were like just this huge ball, almost cultish, like every Wednesday. They were called the Wednesdays. They would
self-named or given to them by the
definitely
body?
Not self-named. 100% not self-named. They were called Wednesdays because they would go to the public library in downtown Toms River every Wednesday and they would just hang out there for hours. And then every morning before school, they would hang out in the corner of the school in front of the school library. And they were just very loud, not obnoxious, but very clearly like when you have an antisocial or an awkward person and they find someone they click with, they're very clearly going to get overstimulated and be like, wah! So it would just imagine.
Why the library connection though? Like
no idea.
Because libraries are quiet spaces.
Exactly.
So this doesn't Wednesdays, get your shit together.
The Wednesdays needed to get their shit together on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So the Wednesdays ultimately totally normal, fine people. Some of them turned out to be not so great individuals. Whatever. I'm done talking about the Wednesdays. They are not a recurring bit on the podcast. I promise.
Next week, for an interview with the Wednesdays.
Tune in when a Wednesday tries to beat the shit out of Chris Famularo. All right, so Christmas is coming around the corner, and gifts are obviously a big part of that. And frankly, I am terrible at wrapping gifts. How good are you guys at wrapping gifts?
According to Pam Beasley, you only need 3 pieces of tape. And I can't wrap at all. It's really bad.
Yeah, first off, Pam Beasley, fucking liar, okay? Yeah. Because you obviously need more than 3 pieces of tape.
Well, it's 1 on the bottom and then 1 on each side, and then you're good.
Yeah, but what if you don't have a box or a square object?
It's not my problem.
Okay, well, I didn't ask how Pam Beasley was. I asked how you were. God.
And I said I'm awful at it.
I like the aggression already.
Yeah, right?
Christmas! Yeah!
This is just back to us being a old married couple, and it's okay. Ryan, how are you at wrapping gifts?
Fucking terrible. Thanks for asking. I'm absolutely terrible, but I can kind of explain it. So, like, I'm really weird with, I don't know if wrapping gifts count as, like, hand-eye coordination, but, like, some things like that I'm just really bad with, like, you know, and like, yeah, I sometimes struggle with like instructions, like, oh, hey, can you just move this? And like, I won't totally process it. This could be a funny transition, or not transition, but just something funny. When I was a kid, and I still kind of struggle with this now, my lefts and rights, like, I knew which way was my left and my right, but like, for instance, I did karate as a kid and they'd be like, pivot your right heel to the left. And I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And it was just like, yeah, I would like struggle with that. And like, I clearly knew my right from my left, but like my brain would be a second slow and just would not connect the left heel, right pivot or whatever and stuff.
I still don't know. Like, I obviously know my rights and lefts, but like, I struggle with it so much too. Like in a fast-paced setting, like if I'm driving and like if someone's verbally telling me instructions, I can't comprehend. Like I have to look and see like left or right versus somebody being like, "Oh, you're gonna take a left here." It'll take me 5 seconds to be like, "Okay, I'm gonna turn left." Like it takes so long. But about gift wrapping, I'm going to make us 4 for 4. I suck ass at gift wrapping. My sister always gets to one-up me and be the favorite child because she makes these like beautiful creations, and also just like to rub it in, goes above and beyond with like ribbons and tinsel. And I'm just like, get the fucking flap over the box. Like I can never do it. So.
Yeah, see, so not only am I bad at gift wrapping, but I also, for some reason, just pick the worst wrapping paper to wrap my gifts in. So no joke. This year it will not be happening because we are all out of it, finally. But for 3 years straight, I wrapped all of my family's Christmas presents in Hanukkah wrapping paper.
Nice.
Wow.
What?
And I did not realize.
Timely.
I did not realize until last year that they were Stars of David on the wrapping paper instead of just like a fun design. And every year my family laughed at me because I was giving them wrapping paper that had Stars of David on it, and we are celebrating Christmas.
8 candles, that's pretty festive.
Yeah, it's just a menorah on it. It's like, whoa, why?
Funny looking spaceship.
Yeah, see, another thing growing up, similar to how I never understood how quiet kids stayed quiet, I always grew up jealous of the fact that Jewish kids got to play with dreidels.
Can I tell? Did Val talk about this on the podcast last week about what he thought?
Well,
about...
you would know if you watched the podcast.
I watched parts. Sue me. Did he talk?
My lawyers will be talking to your lawyers.
Yeah, it's just Tommy.
For both of you.
You're on to me.
Anyway, I think Val is okay with me disclosing this. If he's not, we can cut it. But he confessed to me recently, and like, this is just one of those things with Val I fucking love. But he thought for Hanukkah there was 8 different Santas that came. And 8 different Santas coming 8 different nights to give gifts, and he believed this until like about a week ago. So
yeah, I remember when he dropped that on me, I was like, oh, this is like new. Like this is still your feeling. And he's like, wait, it's not? It's like, yeah, no, Val, this is not how Hanukkah works.
Yeah, similar. I like how Veronica Gale keeps a quote book going. I wish I had the wherewithal to, every time I heard something Val said that surprised me, to write it down, because I think it could be like a New York Times bestseller. Just the things that come out of his mouth are just unbelievable.
Oh my God.
If he ever does stand up one day, I'd be the happiest person.
Yeah, but it's not like Val would tell stand up on purpose. Like, he would walk out onto a stage, like as cartoony as it would be, he would walk out onto a stage and be like, "Oh wow, look at all these lights." And then people are just sitting there and somebody's just like, "What do you think about Santa?" And he would just be like, I thought Santa actually rode a magical reindeer that was covered in stardust and was also a motorcycle. Like, it would just be
But like, the thing is, like, when we try to think of Val stuff, it's like we can't comprehend it because like it hasn't come yet, and it's going to be something that none of us could think of. That's the beauty of Val, is like we can't like make up the shit he would say.
You can't guess the punchline.
Well, no, it's also, I think it's also a situation of, especially when you're in college and you're meeting a lot of new people and you're trying to understand personalities, and you come across people who just firing off jokes left, right, and center. Like, they're just always saying jokes. That's what I thought Val's personality was when I first met him. I thought he was just saying jokes all the time. And then you realize 95% of what he says is true.
The biggest joke of all. It's just him.
It's just him saying things he genuinely believes. And it's like, then you tiptoe this weird line of like, what he's saying, is it a joke? Is it him being valid in what he's saying? Is he being just gullible in what, like, he might not believe something? Like, it's this weird situation that I feel like some people, you find themselves in, like, is this person telling a joke? Are they serious? How do I respond? Because most of the time, we're all people that want to make each other laugh, and we want to respond to a joke with another joke. I find it so hard talking to Val because I can't tell if, when he says that he eats peanut butter and cheese sandwiches, is he being serious or not?
Oh, he's dead serious. The cheese and nutter, yeah.
And there's coffee milk. Coffee milk is important. There's so many.
Well, no, that's a Rhode Island thing.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've asked people in Rhode Island if they've ever had coffee milk, and they go, "What the fuck is coffee milk?" Then I'm just like, is it a Val thing? Has he just grown up like with the remains of coffee, poured it in a glass of milk, and go, "Oh yeah, this is Rhode Island favorite coffee milk." Like, come on, man! How much of what you're saying is true?
Oh my gosh. I could tell a million Val stories, but like I'll wait till I'm on a podcast with him. Oh my goodness. The stories I can tell with that kid. Lucky about my mother.
I mean, bringing it back to the wrapping Christmas gifts, I had him for our like white elephant Christmas party stuff, and his wrapping was atrocious. Like the gift is like sticking out of the thing, and he's like, "Listen, man, I did the best I could, and here you go. I think you're gonna enjoy it." And I couldn't be any happier with the way he did it. It's so him. It just fits the gift.
That's the other thing is like most of the time when you're trying to decipher whether or not a person is joking or not, there's a slight difference in cadence and like personality. Val fires off at like 95% positivity all the time, so you're just like, oh, what is happening? I don't understand. He's talking about like things that have horribly happened to him, and he's just like so chipper about it. And you're like, are you what's happening? It's like, what is going on?
Hope you're listening, Val. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of messages from Val like, wait, you guys don't ever know what I'm talking about? Or you don't ever tell when I'm joking? Which makes it even crazier because he is such an uber professional and successful person at his age.
He's a passionate dude.
Like, that's what is amazing.
It's a good balance, though. Like, those are the funnest people to be around, who like can be the most professional and the most unprofessional when it comes to it. So it's a good mix with Val. He's a very hard worker. I did a semester-long project with him, and like, at times he would just have the most beautiful ideas and I could see stuff. But then at some times, like, we'd be in the middle of something and he would ask me the stupidest fucking thing. And I'd be like, Val, I love you, buddy, but come on.
All right, well, continuing on with stupid fucking questions, we're going to try out something new on this podcast that I have not had the time to do on the other two. There's some would you rather questions that I've been, accumulating on my time, whether I'm on a train or at work or at home. So here's one that I think really fits the group pretty well. Would you rather only be able to eat one pizza topping for the rest of your life, or would you rather only have one condiment to be used for the rest of your life? And this condiment has to be with everything that you want to eat condiments with.
Only able to eat one topping.
Yeah, one pizza topping or one condiment.
Well, what do you consider condiments?
Okay, so like it would be ketchup, mustard, mayo, barbecue sauce, ranch.
Okay. What about hot sauce? Is that a condiment?
Hot sauce is definitely a condiment.
I would say, yeah, hot sauce is a condiment.
Then I'm gonna have to say pizza toppings.
Yeah, I could go plain pizza all the time. I'm a simple boy.
Now, what would be that one pizza topping?
Either cheese or bacon.
Okay, well, cheese. No. See, this is the thing. Cheese is not a topping. Cheese is part of the pizza.
So bacon.
Bacon?
Yeah.
Well, it's basically like any meat. Like, I feel like pepperoni is the most popular, but like pepperoni and bacon are close enough.
Domino's every time, bacon. It was delicious.
Okay, well, Ryan, you first have to answer the first question.
I would do one condiment because, like, if a pizza place is known for, like, let's say their buffalo chicken or like their mushroom or whatever and stuff, I want to experience that. I feel like I'm not a huge condiment person, so like I could get away with one type of thing. Now, let me ask. Olivia brought up hot sauce. Can I use different hot sauce, or can like it only be Cholula or like whatever that
Frank's Red Hot?
Yeah. See, like I feel like that's where you kind of tiptoe the line of what's different, because technically all of those sauces have a different hot sauce flavor.
Right.
Like Tabasco versus Frank's Red versus Cholula versus buffalo sauce. Like.
All right. So in that case, I will do one condiment, and I think it would be Secret Aardvark, which is a habanero-based one that is absolutely delicious.
I've actually heard of that.
Well, it's from Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And I did a cute little thing for my brother. He was a fan of the show, and I did a thing one year where like I got different hot sauces for him, and so it was like we started with like a Buffalo Wild Wings regular one.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went into the Secret Aardvark, the habanero based one, and then I got him. I still actually have the bottle if you want to go see it. It's the Last Dab, but like you can't get the actual Last Dab one.
Yeah.
And it's like scorpion pepper though. So
fun.
That's not
Have
even
you
the
tried it?
Sauce. Oh yeah, that's not
How
even
was
the
it?
Like
sauce.
worse than ghost pepper, probably.
I think it's a little below scorpion pepper. I could be dead wrong.
Like ghost
that's not
pepper.
even that's not even the hottest hot sauce I've had. I've had the two worst I've had are the Last Dab, which is like 2 million on the Scoville.
Mm-hmm.
What is worse than that is Blair's Mega Death Sauce.
Yeah.
Very funny story with that. So WSOU has many specialty shows. And I think I mentioned before, I host one called The Campus Buzz. It's an indie show. And following our show is the rap, hip hop, R&B, drill show called What You've Been Missing. Now, for Cinco de Mayo, they did a Hot Ones special where like they would ask like, hot takes or whatever with the wings, but like they would take on air breaks and then they would like eat the hot sauces. And what was funny is like there was a group of us, this was obviously before COVID, and there was a group of us and like, it went up, we had Secret Aardvark, we had like a homemade one or whatever and stuff, but it got to a point before the Blair's Mega Death where like, oh, okay, like this is a little spicy, like you can start to feel it a little bit. And there was like 3 other females and then like maybe 10 guys all doing this. And every female stopped when it started to, ooh, this is a little hot. So we get to Blair's Mega Death Sauce and everyone who tries it is running out of the room, running around the radio station screaming. There's like 5 people huddled over ice cream, just
What
like,
you get for being men.
boy, what are you gonna do? I am like, what I remember about it is I am like chugging water, laughing my ass off, and like, oh my God, crazy experience. What's your guys' tolerance with like spice and stuff? Can you do spicy things?
I really like hot sauce. My dad is super into hot sauce. So like he always has like a cool, unique type of hot sauce. But he will also, because he's the worst, put hot sauces in like one container, like the same type of container. So there was one time where I didn't like look at the label and they're all like clear or whatever, and he'll just like put it in, and I put it on something and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh no, because I was like, Dad, what is this? And I turned the bottle and it was like a fucking movie and it said ghost pepper on it, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like I was pacing, I couldn't eat anything the rest of the night. It was terrible. So can't handle ghost pepper.
What about you, Tommy and Fan? How are you with spice?
I think I'm okay with it. I don't really venture out too much, but every time I do venture out to try something hotter, it's like, oh, it's not too bad. Like it's enough of a kick that like I could still enjoy what I'm tasting and everything. But I've never really like tested my limits, and I really want to. That's something me and my brothers would like to do, is like get the full gauntlet of hot sauces from Hot Ones and see who gets the furthest. But yeah, I don't know how good I am with hot sauce.
I live at a base level of like, I need basically all of my foods to have some form of spice. Like whether it's chili pepper flakes or cayenne powder or chili powder, like I even on eggs, on like potatoes, on normal stuff, like I love spice. And I usually, anytime I try a new either Asian restaurant or Latin food restaurant, I will usually ask for like their hot sauce to try or their hot salsa. And like I just love trying new spicy foods. It does bite me in the ass a good majority of the time because while I do love spice, my body usually is like, what the F are you doing? Like, because like my body goes to an extreme. Like I hit like every single time. Usually you get either a runny nose or your mouth starts drooling or you sweat. I get all three. Like it'll happen all together. As soon as I try something spicy, I immediately get red in the face. I'll start sweating. I start drooling. My nose is just running.
Oh my God.
The nose one is what pisses me off the most, because like I tried spicy miso for ramen because I love oh my God, it was so good. But like the fact that I was eating specifically ramen and my nose was running from it, I couldn't even eat it. I was so disgusted. Like I was like, well, this fucking sucks because now I can't eat my ramen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spicy food is such like a double-sided or double-edged sword, because like it's so tasty, and it's such like, because I'm not really a sweet person. Like I prefer savory food, so like salty and spice usually go together. But since it's so tasty, and then it's like, oh man, you want to keep eating it, and then it's just the more spice you eat, the worse it gets. Like I don't get like stomach or indigestion problems from spice, but like it'll just linger with me. Like if I have especially hot like salsa or hot sauce, like my mouth doesn't get burned, just those symptoms just continue for so long after the fact. Like I'm constantly having to wipe my nose or like sweating from it. Like it's just the worst.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, we have kind of fulfilled our time. We're perfectly wrapping up here. I think we've covered a lot. There was some stuff I wanted to talk about, but I feel like talking about my haircut was way more important. No, absolutely.
As long
not.
as we got that.
Absolutely not. I think we covered a lot of good stuff here. It's amazing how fast this stuff really flies by. Just how much fun it is talking with all of your friends and stuff like that. So we will wrap it up. Olivia and Ryan, please watch the video. Oh, you're not in this one. You're in it, so you don't need to watch it. Share it, but you don't need to watch it. To everyone else, please, thank you so much for watching, first off, but please subscribe to One Shot Entertainment. I think we are doing a great job here, and we are really trying to grow. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. We were debating something before that I wanted to say have people comment about.
Was it your would you rather question?
No. Oh, here's what it was.
Okay.
Comment down below if you have taken a personality test, or if you are more believing into astrology, and let us know what you think. Tell us your signs and if you fully believe it, or tell us your personality type. Maybe we could have people make friends and meet new people.
Add me on CoStar.
I'm also single, so like, please reach out to me.
This is not a desperate ploy. This is just putting it out there,
Okay, well, I had a wonderful time as always. My name is Chris Famularo, Tommy Rinaldi, Ryan Clayton, Olivia Klein. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to having all of you on again. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.